Hey folks, so I'm back on Thursday. I did my live thing. Some of you might have caught it. Once again, it was fun. I really enjoy connecting with people worldwide. That's the thing that immediately becomes apparent is the connection is worldwide. It's fantastic. I'll be doing it again. I'm not going to plan it because that just creates anxiety. It's like then it's like, oh, now I got to do it. It's more like just flow. Oh, I meant to get it. One of the things that I'm reading that's helping me get my balance back, because I lose it. I'm a human being, okay? Is the Tao, and I just had it, and it had something for me today, really helpful. But the one thing that I want to say before I go on to talk about music to all of you, my friends, because you all are, even if you don't think you are, you're my family. This is really something to try to take in. People who are in public, like just a person who is a public figure, others, based on what they perceive about that person, start to think that's what they are. Myself, I deal with this doing this channel. I just want to tell people this is something that is generally true. You get an impression of the person, and then you think you know who they are, but you don't. You have an impression. And I deal with this, And so, for example, someone said, well, I thought you were not so much bothered by other people's opinions. I'm not. What gets on my nerves, depending on my mood and time of day and month and stuff, is just dealing with people. That's what it is. I'm not offended. Am I choosing to react to it? Yes. Because it's like, you need your natural outlets. I'm not stoic. I try to flow. And sometimes the flow is roiled. And so you get it. And that's the way it is. So, what I'm saying is there's no incongruity about who I am and who I present. I am a human being. You're the same. That's what I keep saying. Folks will be saying, well, I thought this about you. Well, if the shoe was on the other foot and you were that person, can you say that you're always what people thought you were when they saw you that day, that time? Or they see you in this context rather than seeing you in a whole context to get a whole picture of you as a person? No, we're not. And people who have played to their audience have suffered. Not all, but mostly. That's what they say when you start to believe your own hype. I'm just Dereck over here doing my thing. And I'll remain honest. When shit bugs me, I'll respond to it, but I'll tell you why, as opposed to you telling me what's going on with me, because you don't know. Okay. I think it's important. I think some of you all need to learn how to say that for yourselves, which is partially why I'm doing this. There's not enough people saying, enough of you bullshit bullies, because that's what trolling is. It's a form of bullying. It's a form of low self-esteem. I see right through you. I'm not going to let up, because it's a problem in this world. People need help. We all need help. Generally speaking, I don't listen to music to go to bed. I used to. I don't know how many years it's been now where it's not necessary. Lately, I have been returning to it a bit more. And so the last couple nights, what have I played at bedtime on the CD player? A couple nights ago, it was Mike Tamburo, Screwing 6 Bolts into Last Week. I'll make a list because there's no credits here. Mike Tamburo, maybe some of you know of him. He's a percussionist, spiritual-based musician. I met him by being on the same bill at a house show with him and Larkin Grimm. Have you heard of Larkin Grimm? Another unique artist. This is really excellent. I ended up listening to it like 2.5 times. Percussive, but not. It's more piano and electronics are live. The vibraphone is overdubbed. I didn't read these notes. They're probably important. But I can highly recommend this. Mike Tamburo. Listen to this a couple times. This I played a couple nights ago, and it was like, wow, this is so good that it was like, well, this is why I'm not doing it anymore. I did a random pull for bed, and it ended up being Urban Verbs, Early Damage. Do you guys know about this band? What was it, the 80s? 1981 is when this is their second album, and I have the albums. Of note, the lead singer of the band, who is deceased, unfortunately, already, was the brother of Chris Frantz, the drummer from Talking Heads, Roddy Frantz. Urban Verbs. And there's Roddy, and you can see the resemblance to Chris Frantz immediately in they're brothers. Really like this band. And Early Damage, it doesn't sound dated to me. It's like, wow, this is really good. They take a page from Talking Heads, pretty obviously so, but musically, the way they're using electronics with the guitar thing at that time was like they were doing something kind of unique and really good. Urban Verbs, I got to see them live as well. They came through and played in Lincoln. Great show. And thankfully it was at the Drumstick, so I could go and hang out with them afterwards, which I did. Lovely people. Lovely people. Really good records. This is something from, I think, maybe a week ago. I did a blind pull for bed. Didn't look at, I like to do that sometimes. Don't even look at what the disc is or anything. Just get it in the player and let it go. And this one, it took me a couple of tracks before I figured out whose record it was. This is Eberhard Weber, and it's like a works. They have a series on ECM where they compile the artists, some of their things that they want to bring to your attention. So when this started, for a minute I thought, is this a Jan Garbarek album? Well, no, because it's from my section in there, which is a part of the alphabet. So then I thought, okay, is it John's sermon? But it's saying, no, that doesn't sound like John's sermon. It sounds like Jan Garbarek. And it is wonderful, so I just let it go. It wasn't until the third track that I recognized the track, okay? That was really cool. This is some excellent music. Eberhard Weber, a German bassist. I love his work. And can I grab... Do I see his stuff? My W's are an end of the alphabet are over here. This is what I have on vinyl, because I have more on CD. The album, he first came to my attention through playing music with Wolfgang Downer. But when this came out on ECM, and my original copy is, I had to replace it because I trashed it, and my older brother did because we loved it so much, played it so much, it was beat to hell. So I'm glad I was able to replace it. The Colors of Chloe. Chloe. This is a masterpiece, and many people agree with me. El Bicho Feo, Dave, who does the Cheap Heat, he was just online praising this album, and I agree with him 100%. This is just gorgeous. Put out another album. Well, the next one that he put out was Yellow Fields, which I loved and got. This is my original copy, so as you can see, it's got the ring wear. Not quite as heavily partied as this one was. I had to replace this. This is very romantic to me. This album is a very romantic album. Now, and that means it can be definitely used for sex, but to me, the thing that comes through is the romanticism of it. You know, the idea of adoration, love, softness. Yeah. And then he put out Silent Feet. Well, these are not in order. I'm not sure, but I always refer to relate to this one because it's the same artist did this artwork. This one is unusual. Not too many ECM records that I know of come with inserts, and this one does. Is it Maha Weber? Is the visual artist here. Love their work, the colors and everything. So, Eberhard Weber, if you don't, that's my recommendation today in particular. All these. Fluid Russell, another one that's just, they don't sound the same. It's Eberhard Weber's music, but he's an artist, and he does not settle for repeating himself. Little movements. Little movements. It's one I need to get more familiar with. Here's another one that I've spent time with. Lyle May's Rest in Peace is on this one with Eberhard Weber. Another beautiful album. And the last one I have on vinyl is Orchestra. And this is kind of heavy for him. Okay, so that's where that's at. And once again, I can bring it back to the smile because I am under no false impression about me or anyone else being like Superman or better than, or I'm just a human being trying my best, you know. And so, like I say, I'm just going to just keep putting it out like this, and because I want to make sure that I'm just going to say it because this is my soapbox. When people do come along, and I perceive them as, you know, if it rubs me the wrong way, you'll hear about it. Or if it's just obviously blatant crap, I'm just going to keep deleting it. I don't know, but because it's such a big, sick world, dealing with this bullshit is not likely to stop. And the other thing people have told me is that, well, if you call attention to it, you're asking for more of it. No, I'm not. That is the nature of my irritation about the lack of self-awareness. Or maybe it is self-awareness, whether people say, well, yeah, I just want to just get a reaction for whatever reason. But I'll state again that compared to other behaviors that person could exhibit, it could be you doing something helpful, stirring up people's pot or attempting to stir up people's pot. What is the benefit of that? We can hate on ourselves without anybody else's help just fine. So think about that, you know, and take a look at yourselves. When you want to, that's enough, isn't it? That's enough.